Oh, I am not lying when I say I get the best blackback comedy. And coming up to the stage now, this is a stage. I haven't mentioned it, but there is a stage up here. Let's give it up for Joe making the stage happen with the lights and the fucking music. It's a beautiful thing they do here. One more time. There we go. But let's keep it going for the wonderful Rochelle Cote, everybody. Let's keep it. Oh, come on. Come on. Make it happen. She got beautiful hair. I'm jealous of this hair.
Get out of here. It's my turn now. It's my turn now. Oh, shit. Fuck. Actually, I do need my phone. Dennis, hand me my phone for a second. No, it's right there. It's right there. Because I need to call you out. Because you need to be held accountable for your behavior and what you do in fucking Eureka, California. So I did the shittiest comedy festival ever in Eureka, California. There were more comedians in the town than people. And so I decided to go on mushrooms because fuck it, why not? And I am tripping balls at a goddamn zoo. And I got this message from Dennis Cruz, and I'm going to read it verbatim. Hey, had to bug out due to a chick issue. Parentheses, my handler bailed on me. Parentheses. So had to come home. Could you let Pete know? Parentheses, I don't have his contact info. Parentheses. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, are you in the Secret Service and no one told us? Because I would not trust you with anyone's life. Come to find out, you were booked on a show in Portland and just wanted to fucking bail. And you put that on my drug-addled ass. Fuck you for ruining my high, Dennis. I'm still mad. Every goddamn time. I don't know if I give off this vibe, but I have had sex before. I know it looks more likely I get railed by gluten. Maybe a dairy gangbang, but I feel like cream pie is more fitting. I don't know. Still working on that turd. Give it up for Brie Collette. Do you have acid reflux? You do have acid reflux. I was like, those burps are way too quick for there to not be something wrong. Also, those pants triggered me. That is my middle school years all over again. All over again. All over again. But I loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Gabe, I am so worried about Gabe going back to the South. Is anyone else worried? We must protect them at all costs. Wrap them in bubble wrap. Give them some pepper spray to protect themselves. Like, Jesus Christ. And then Jamie, I have a dead sister. I know, such a brag. And I don't know how to make people laugh about it. I want people to laugh about my dead sister, and they just will not. So I get it. What am I supposed to do with a dead sister other than be like, well, she used to be here. And then she had to have cancer and die. What a bitch. Happy Pride, everyone. Happy Pride, happy Pride, happy Pride. I came out in 2021, which is about 20 years after all my bullies sniffed that shit out. When I first moved to Portland, which was back in 2015, I started a job at a gluten-free bakery. I know, shocker. And my first day on the job, one of my coworkers is like, are you a part of the family? Now, I'd never heard that phraseology, so I was like, no, I'm not in the mafia. And they're like, no, are you part of the LGBTQ community? And I was like, well, and at this point I wasn't out, so I was like, well, I just moved here. I've been straight so far. I guess we'll see what happens. And they got real bummed out, and I was like, no, I get it. Like, it's not my fault that I like sucking dick and wearing cargo shorts. Like, I am throwing out some very mixed signals here. Another coworker to that job asked me if I identified as queer, and I was like, as long as you use a Boston accent, because I'll be a fucking queer any day. I'm from Montana, so I'm not like you people. And yes, I mean you people. My 5th or 6th time on stage, I won a comedy competitions in Billings, Montana. Don't go. Just don't. There is nothing worth seeing in Billings, Montana. And on my ballot, one of the judges wrote, "Chicks aren't funny. Chicks aren't funny." And then they crossed it out and they wrote, "You're the exception." And I was like, oh my God, you thought that was a compliment. Hold on. Let me see what I can throw right back at you. Thank you for hearing my jokes over the roar of my goddamn vagina. And he asked if our cat's gonna hang out. I was like, no, my cat won't hang out with your misogynistic cat. I do have a cat. Give it up for cats. That's right. Made a whole room clap about cats. I got her because I'm sad. That's right. I'm drowning my depression in pussy. But I've never met an animal that rejects you more than a cat. Because I'm like, hey, Harriet, you want to hang out? She's like, fuck off. I'm going to lick my asshole. And I'm like, you know what? I get it. I've used a bidet before. It was by accident in a bar in Hawthorne. But I hit the wrong button on that space toilet. And that water was warm. It was like a little angel was licking my butthole. So nice. So nice. I'm not on my period, but I've been thinking about it. I feel like when I'm on my period, I'm like an upside down glass ketchup bottle. And God's hand, or the patriarchy's, depending on who you believe in, is just tamping down on the bottom of the bottle. And my uterine lining is sliding out of me in a similar fashion, unpredictably and almost always inconveniently. Same as my shits. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Period poops are a nightmare. That is a ticket to a roller coaster that none of us wanted to buy. And like, this may come across as a brag, but I've got a snug snatch. There's not a lot of room up there. So if I got a tampon in it and I got to take a dump, that tampon's going to be turtling. Turtle and Tampon, new band name, I called it. And then you're in a predicament because it's like, well, do I try to push that thing back up? And like, spoiler alert, dry cotton on a mucus membrane really hurts. Google it. Or you might get poop on the string. And I mean, people keep talking about the pink tax, but what about the brown tax? I'm getting to the bottom of this. I'm so mad at Gabe. Gabe, I just want to lay down on stage every time I perform because honestly, since 2020, like, what are we even doing? Like, why are we even here? Like, I wake up every morning and I'm like, I'm so glad that my tax dollars are going to blowing up small children around the world. Yeah, I went there. And you can't stop me because guess who has the mic? And Dennis believed in me like an idiot. Because, I mean, like, I like making people laugh because I cry. And I figure that we could cry a little together. Just kidding. I'm so kidding. I so wouldn't make you cry unless you're into it. Why am I like this? My partner had a vasectomy. Give it up for my partner. Yeah. That's right. They chopped his dick off. And pee is stored in the balls. I went to public school. I know and Catholic school, so that made it even more realistic. But that's right, he had a vasectomy. He asked me after he got it done, he's like, "Are you proud of me?" And I had to pause, because like the things that are going to come out of my mouth right now are not going to be nice. And I was like, well, you've done more than the Democratic Party, so thank you. Thank you so much for doing anything more than the Democratic Party. But if I had it my way, and let's be fucking clear, if I had it my way, I would tie a string around my uterus, tie the other that string around that fucking doorknob over there, and slam the fucking door. I'm not using it. I don't want it. Would you like my uterus? Wow. Well, I offer you a gift. You just throw it right back at me. That's all right. I can put it on Uteretsy. But yeah, like the shit he went through, least most painless procedure ever. The only thing he had to show for it was 2 little stitches, one on each ball that made like his balls look like dead cartoon eyes. And like, let me be clear, very funny. Loved it. But he sent me so many photos. And you know what was the real problem? no change in lighting, no different angles, no story. This motherfucker is obsessed with D&D. He has boxes full of comic books, but he couldn't tell me a goddamn story with his balls. Can you believe it? I thought I meant something to him. Spoiler alert, I didn't. And he was kind of worried. He was like, well, they're going to cut the vas deferens. Does that mean my balls are just free floating in there? I'm like, you're right. There is no other connective tissue in your scrotal sac. They'll just be floating in that scrot. How do I know more about your junk than you do? This is really embarrassing. Oh, yeah, back to my period. So I still have my birth control in my arm because I haven't gotten it taken out yet. Going to the gynecologist next week. Such a brag. But that plus getting tear gassed in 2020 means that my hormonal cycle is a mystery to everyone. And so, you got your calendar on the wall with, your 4 or 5 red days. It's like a toddler went up there and just smeared the fucking calendar. This is when it's just pink slime coming out. I know. This is when I've got raging diarrhea. Holy guacamole, how did this happen? This is when it's crusty stuff on the edge of the ketchup bottle coming out. I'm so sorry that my body's unsettling. But someone needs to know. Because if I don't tell you, it's only in here. It's only in here. This is where Lifetime movies make me cry. So, it's a real journey. It's a real journey. How much time do I have left? I could leave. 1 minute? 1 minute? 5 minutes? You just want me to be here till midnight? I'll see what I can do. All right. I've had an abortion. You can clap if you want. But I haven't figured out how to tell my parents yet because no bakery makes a cake that's frosting with nothing inside. And I felt like red velvet cake would be a little too on the nose. But I did tell my parents by telling this joke in front of a whole crowd at a comedy competition where I beat the guy who got me pregnant and won over $400. What? That's how you win a breakup, folks. But, I had the at-home kind. I know we all know that since Roe v. Wade's getting overturned and everything, but you can do that shit at home, folks. So you take some pills and then the gates are open. And they warn you clots the size of lemons. They are not lying! And you can't use tampons because according to doctors, it'll kill you. So you have to use pads that are the size of this room. And then you throw them away. Because, Jamie, you know this, we don't flush pads. Thank you, Jamie. So I threw the pads away. I went to work. I come home. There is white fluff all over the living room and kitchen and not a drop of blood. My roommate's dog, Mugwort, ate my baby. And she was pregnant at the time, as far along as I was, but was keeping her kid because she wasn't day drinking like me. So I was like, be careful, Muggle Buggles has got a taste. Don't worry. That baby is fine. They're 8 years old now, and that dog is so fucking dead. Could not be deader. Urn on the mantelpiece, portrait on the wall. That dog is dead. And if you feel bad for him, fuck you. He ate my baby. I'm Rochelle Cote. Thank you so much. Give it up to Covert Cafe, the Joes, and Dennis Grove.
Oh, let's keep it going for Rochelle Cote, everybody. Oh.